welcome. My name is Taya, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do know, thank you for tuning in for yet another video. So in this video, I am going to go work out. I typically work out like 4 to 5 days a week, but you know, life has just been lifing and it's been hitting me quite hard. And so this week I went, but I didn't actually lift weights. I kind of just walked on the treadmill and read a book so I can kind of get steps in and go and clear my head. But I also knew that I wasn't in like the headspace to lift weights. So with that being said, today I just got myself together. And since I didn't really lift this week, I'm just gonna do a full body Landmine workout, and then maybe just finish off with like bis and tries to get a good pump. Not really in a mood to like see people today or be out in the open, and so it's, you know, this could be like a shy girl workout. If the gym is packed, you could do this in one area. So yeah, I just got myself together, wearing a crew neck, and I have like a workout set on underneath. You'll see it at the gym. Right now, I'm just about to take my vitamins, eat my Rice Krispie treats, and be on my way. So I take women's multivitamins, and then I also do cranberry and vitamin B12. Cranberry is for urinary tract health, and vitamin B12, energy, which I'm a drowsy gal. So I will take all the energy that I can get. So I have charged my headphones. I have my wallet. Right now, I'm just going to eat 2 snack-sized Rice Krispie treats. Also, what I've really been doing, or what I've really been enjoying, is once I finish like lifting or working out or doing whatever, I will just walk on the treadmill and read a book. So that's probably how I'm gonna finish today. Off we go. So the reason I eat 2 of these is because they're literally like tiny, and a quick way for me to get some like sugar and carbs in before I work out. Because if I work out during the week, I go at like 6 a.m. and sometimes it's just simply too early to eat that early in the morning. So these are my go-to. Thank you too. Or sorry, you too. Thank you. Okay, so I first just wanted to start off by showing you guys how small of a space we were working with today. So I literally didn't have much room at all, and I got in a really good workout. And now we are getting into dynamic stretches, which is basically just a form of stretching that requires more movement than static stretches. So static stretches would be stretching and holding a position for a few seconds. And with dynamic stretching, you're doing more movement. And it's just a good way to warm up and kind of get the blood flowing and get your body moving beforehand. As you can see, I'm placing a lot of focus and emphasis on opening up my hips and really warming up my lower body, just because it does tend to feel more stiff when I don't do these exercises. And so I do these every lower body day, and then the upper body ones, which you'll see in just a few minutes, I do those every upper body day. And if it's a day like today when I'm doing full body, then I kind of do a mixture of both. The first exercise we're going to do is going to be a landmine squat, which is what you can see me setting up right now. So the first thing I do is lift up the weight and put all of the weight on one shoulder, supporting it with my arms. That way it's not just completely on that one side, but I lean into the weight with my feet slightly in front of me. And then I just lower myself down while trying to keep my upper half pretty upright and my core braced. And it just gives me a really, really good stretch in my quads. And then I also really try my best to keep my heels on the ground. The next thing is going to be a landmine row. So I'm just adding on this extra piece so I can use that when I'm doing the exercise, and then I'm putting the weight back on. It doesn't matter if you do the weight, then the piece, like the bars, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of preferential. But I sit my hips back into the weight with my feet flat on the ground, and then I am just going to pull the weight up with my core braced. And I'm just going to squeeze my lats at the top. The next exercise we have are going to be Romanian deadlifts, or RDL. So I'm just removing that piece that we just used for the rows, and my feet are about shoulder width apart, and this is a hip hinge movement. So I'm just going to really focus on pushing my hips backwards, almost as if I was closing a drawer with my butt, rather than leaning forward, if that makes sense. So keep your core braced, push your hips back, and then once they can't really go back any further, then you come back up with everything nice and tight. I wanted this to be more of a glute focused exercise, so I had my more bend in my knees, but if you wanted it to be more hamstring focused, you would just keep your knees a little bit more straight.
It's like we could try it. Relax and let me slip. I'm more. You can between.
Next is kind of a modified version of chest press. So I made sure that when my body was upright, the barbell aligned with the middle of my chest, and then I just sat back into my heels and pushed straight up. And that's about it. This isn't one of my favorite exercises, but it gets the job done, and it focuses on chest with a little bit of shoulders. That brings us to the last landmine exercise, which is going to be a sumo squat. So as you can see here, I have my feet wider than shoulder width apart. My feet are pointing outwards so I can get more depth. I am still going to hinge at the hips because, again, I do want it to be more glute focused. So as opposed to standing straight upright, I'm going to hinge at my hips as I go down, keep my core braced, and then come back up and push through my heels. Okay, so I know I said this was going to be a landmine only workout, but anytime I do upper body or full body, I just love to incorporate bis and tris. So this is going to be tricep push down. So my feet are maybe shoulder width apart. I prefer to stand straight upright. I know some people like to stand leaning forward a bit, but I feel it just fine standing straight up. And then I'm going to grab the weight, push down through the palms of my hand, bending at my elbows, and really getting a nice, good elongation and stretch in the back of my arms where the tricep is.
Wait. Want you other.
Lastly, we've got cable bicep curls. So my stance is going to be similar, about shoulder width apart. I'm going to keep my core braced, hold the weight or the cable in the palm of my hands, but this time my hands are facing the sky as opposed to facing the ground. I like to keep my arms close and very close knit, very tight into my body, and then I'm just going to curl the weight.
Want you other way. But you buy where you like it. It's like you can try it. Just relapsing like this.